lesson, we are going to study about participles. As you see, participles have a lot of different usages, and today I'm going to show you present participle and past participles in this video. First of all, we should understand what they are and why we use them and how we connect sentences and how we create them. So in order to understand them better, maybe we can group them and we can see very important usages, and then other details maybe can be seen. But first of all, we should understand why we use present participle and why we choose past participles. Let's start with the first one, as an adjective. In English, with adjectives, by using adjectives, we describe somebody or some item or something or some animals. So we describe nouns. So we give information about those nouns and we give some defining and we give some special features about them. So in English, while we are using a noun like this, for example, water, we define and we describe sometimes. So if we say boiling water, so we can understand actively it is boiling. So when we say in the beginning of, in front of the noun, we describe this noun. So boiling water, so we can understand what kind of water or which water. So boiling water here, actively, this action is done by here, by it or by him or by her. So that's why we can see boiling water. For example, if we say running water, so we can clearly see this action is done by this noun. So running water is an adjective part here. So this is very important while using English, because sometimes we need to describe some nouns. So we give some action and so we describe what kind of action they are in. For example, crying boy. In this sentence, in this part, you can see in this structure, this boy is in this action. So we can understand, we can describe this boy feature. So what kind of boy we are talking about, or which boy you are talking about? Crying boy. So this action is actively done by this boy, by this item, by him or by her, by it. So crying boy is the describing part of this noun. So if we put ing at the end of the word, we get present participle. So boiling water here, participle is here. So running water here, run, running. And crying boy here, this is the adjective part, crying. But if we are talking about past participles, as you can guess, this action should be passive form. So, for example, if I'm talking about somebody's heart and maybe her boyfriend hurt her and maybe at the moment she's crying, and I can describe her heart. What kind of heart does she have now? So I can say broken heart. Why I am using here broken? Why I'm using here past participle? Because I know this action was done or has been done by another person, and at the moment it is affected, but here breaking action not by here, not by it, because it is a heart, and some other person, some other people broke it. So what is affected? Heart is affected here. So in this sentence, I must say broken heart, past participle form, because the action, breaking action, is done by another person, not by heart. And one more example. Frozen water. Look, here this action has happened to it. So this is the affected one. That's why I must choose past participle in passive form. Frozen water. And one more. For example, stolen car. If I'm talking about this noun, this car has been stolen or was stolen or is stolen by another person. So what is the action? What happened to it? It was stolen. So what kind of car it is now? So how I am describing it? By putting an adjective here. So I am giving information, I'm describing it. So what happened to it? It was stolen. That's why in front of this noun, I can put past participle to describe, to give information about this noun. In participles, while choosing present participle and past participle, the most important thing that we should be careful about is that you should check, and you will check the structure of the sentence, the structure of the meaning. If I'm talking about an active voice, if I'm talking about an action, so if I see, if I know, if I can feel and realize who has done it or who will done it, so here I choose present participle. But if I feel, if I can hear, or if I can see, if I understand this action in the meaning of passive, I should choose past participle, not present participle. So in sentences, how we use them? Let's make some sentences and then I'll show you how can you create participles. The first thing that you should know is that you can create and make economical sentences by using participles. The first reason why I use them is that we are trying to make and we are trying to create some sentences in an economical way. Let's see. For example, instead of while, instead of as soon as, instead of because, what I mean there, let's see with an example. Because she is afraid to lose her job, she has been trying more and more nowadays. In this sentence, you can see we have a conjunction, so we connect our sentences by using because. Because she is afraid to lose her job, this is our dependent part of our clause. And after this conjunction, I'm checking the subjects. Dependent part, she. Independent part, again, we see she. So here, if I want, if I prefer, I can create a participle. But which participle should I choose? The first one, I'm checking conjunction sentence. Okay, we have a conjunction. And then I'm checking subjects. Okay, subjects are same. For example, here, she, if it is here, he, you cannot do that. It must be same and same subjects. Because she, after After because, you are going to check the verb. What is the verb here? What is the structure here? This is to be, active or passive form. This is the most important thing that you should be careful about. If you check and if you see it clearly, if it is an active voice, you can do participle in this way. You don't use here. And what is the verb here? Be. So what is the present participle form? Being. So you can create your new sentence in this way. Being afraid to lose her job, she, or you can give some name, for example, Sue, has been trying more and more nowadays. So in this sentence, you can see just because we have a conjunction and we have same subjects in our independent and dependent forms and clauses, parts, you can create participle clause. In this sentence, you can clearly see being is our present participle. Being afraid to lose. So we check our verb here. What is our verb? Is. So what is the infinitive form of this verb? Be. So be should be used with ing. Being afraid to lose her job, Sue or she has been trying more and more nowadays. Let's see with an example. I'll give you one more example because normally this topic is very long and has many different usages. That's why you should understand why and how we structure and how we make them. Let's see. As he was scared by a dog before, he didn't want to stay with a dog in a room. For instance, you have a friend and you know that he had very bad experience in his past about a dog. Maybe a dog bit him, so he is very afraid and he is scared. He doesn't like dogs. And you say, as he was scared by a dog before, he didn't want to stay, he didn't want to be in a room with a dog because he doesn't like, he is afraid of the dogs. So we can say, what is here sees as because it is our conjunction. So we see here, okay, what are our subjects in those sentences? Here, him, or maybe you can say the name of the boy. Let's see. You can say Jack. Jack. Also, in other sentence, again Jack. So here you see subject, same subjects. So in this sentence, you can say, okay, let's make it participle. But what we are checking, yes, you are correct. After this subject, in dependent part, you check the verb. What is the verb here? Verb here, active form or passive form. You can see clearly passive form. So instead of this verb, you can use, if the verb is active, present participle. If the verb is passive, like this, past participle. Let's make it. scared by a dog, or in my opinion, being scared also could be possible, because here the verb is here, was scared, so being scared could be possible, but this is the verb, so scare is the verb here. So scared by a dog before, he didn't, or Jack didn't want to stay in the room with a dog. So in this sentence, again, I'm repeating because this is really important. When you find subjects are same, when you discover, and if it is as, since, because, or while, like this kind of adverbial clause, so in this point you should understand, if you want, you can make it participle way. If you want to make a participle clause, you should check the verb structure. If the verb is present participle form, active form, you should do it in present participle. If the word form is passive, you must use past participle. Let's see one more example. And maybe now we can use after. Let's see. After she was invited to the meeting, she prepared cookies to make them happy. That's it. Normally, in these kind of sentences, after, before sentences, we prefer, and it is better to use past perfect, because there are two different actions here. The first one is before the other action, but also in this way it is possible. That's why I'm giving these kind of examples. It is not a kind of rule 100%. After is followed by past perfect. So we can't say like this. So we can see some sentences in this form. After she was invited to the meeting, she prepared cookies to make them happy. So when you see after, you are checking subjects she, and you are checking the verb form. This is passive voice. So we can use this sentence, invited to the meeting. Invited to the meeting, she or Sue, let's see again. Sue prepared cookies to make them happy. So why I choose here past participle? Because this is a adverbial clause, and in this adverbial clause our subjects are same, so I can make a past or present participle clause. But after this subject, when I see our verb in passive form, of course I choose past participle. Invited by another person, by them, by other people, by their friends, by their family, so by another people, another person. So an invited should be chosen here in order to make a correct participle sentence. But, for example, if I use an active voice, let's make another example together and we can make it clearer for you. Since she invited too many people to her birthday party, she had to rent extra chairs, we can say. For example, she has a lot of too many friends maybe, and for her birthday party she called everybody, and then she discovered too many people will come. So in the past, what happened? Because she invited too many people to her birthday party, she had to rent extra chairs. So here, this is our adverbial clause. This is an adverbial part, adverbial clause. And our subjects are same. Okay, so number 3, the first step, conjunction. The second step, we are checking subjects, and number 3, the third step, we are checking our verb. Is it in active form or passive form? You can clearly see this is an active voice. This is simple past tense and active form. She invited actively. She invited many friends. That's why we can use in this way. If it is active, we were using present participle. How we form it? Inviting. Inviting too many friends. She had to rent extra chairs. So, I must choose present participle because this action, invitation, this action is actively done by herself. So, this is an active form, you can see. So, since she invited too many people to her birthday party, let's make it more economical. Inviting too many friends, she or Sue had to rent extra chairs. I want to say again and again, while choosing present participle or past participle, the rule is very simple. And you should understand, first of all, the meaning is active form or the meaning is passive form. According to this information, you can clearly choose, you can easily choose present participle or past participle. In participles, it is also possible to see relative clauses. So, how we use relative clauses, let's remember, and then after that, we are going to make reduction by using participles. As you can remember, in relative pronouns and in relative clauses, we were defining somebody or something. That's why we use relative clauses. Let's see. I have a friend who lives in London. So, in this sentence, as you can see clearly, I am giving an information about her future, about her something, and I'm putting this relative pronoun after this noun to describe her, and this is the special feature. What is the action? What is the feature of her? How I describe her. So the action is here, live. This is the verb. I have a friend who lives in London. This is our relative clause. But it is possible also, after relative pronouns, we can make reductions. How we do that? we check our relative pronoun here. Okay. And after that, we are checking the verb form. If I am talking about, if I am writing, if I'm mentioning about an action, and if it is an active form, active voice, of course, our rule is same. We choose present participle. Let's make it, I have a friend. So we don't use, we reduct. So we don't use relative pronoun, and we must use here verb ing, because this is our present participle rule. I have a friend living in London. This is very simple, as you see. Let's see one more example. My father has adopted a dog. As you see, in this sentence, I'm defining the dog. So, a dog which barks. This is the relative pronoun. And what is the verb here? This is bark. This is the verb. In active form or passive form, you can see clearly it's an active form. So, we can make our sentence in this way. My father has adopted a dog. So, I don't use pronoun and I am changing my verb into ing form, present participle form, barking every minute. So I can see here again a description and a defining. This is its feature. What does it do every minute? It barks. So I am giving information, I am giving special feature about it. A dog barking. So instead of which, I mean pronoun, and I don't use as a tense, I am making as a relative pronoun and relative clause reduction form. A dog barking. Where is it? A leaf living, you see. But if our verb is in passive form after pronoun, of course, now you say, you guess easily, I choose past participle. Let's see with an example. I have a friend who was kidnapped last month. So we can clearly see here again a relative clause, but if I want to make it economical, if I want to make reduction in this relative clause, I must check pronoun, and after that I will check verb. What is the verb form? What kind of structure I see there? This is passive form. Simple past, passive, present, passive, doesn't matter. Only it must be passive form. So I can make a sentence in this way. We can do it together. I have a friend. I don't use pronoun and I don't use verb. Just instead of them, I must write past participle. I have a friend kidnapped. That's enough. Last month. So, you can see, after a noun, when you see verb ing or verb 3, you must check your information, knowledge about participles, because it can't be a verb. Because my verb is here, my subject is here. So if have is verb here, kidnapped can't be a verb. So you can easily discover you are describing this noun, this person or this item. So this is the main verb, but here reduction of relative clause. So you should be careful while reading or while making some maybe some questions and while solving your tests. You should be all the time alerted and you should understand which one is your main verb, which one is not the verb. So if it is not a verb, it must be something different. So in this sentence, you are going to check as a whole part. A friend, what kind of friend? Kidnapped friend, okay? And in participles, present participles and past participles should be chosen according to their grammatical structure. If I'm talking about an active form, I should choose present participle. If I'm talking about a passive form, I should choose past participle. And in the next lesson, I'm going to teach you perfect participles, and then you will learn more and more new information about participles.